us now from the Michigan Science Center is their Chief Business Officer Lucy Hale on the Michigan Megacast. Lucy, thanks for being with us today.
Oh, thanks so much for having me, Tyler. It's a pleasure to be here.
Appreciate having you on. So a lot of interesting events always going on and exhibits always going on over at the Michigan Science Center. Right now, the one that is coming up going on is Popnology. Can you tell us about Popnology?
Yeah, so Popnology is a special exhibit. It is with us through August 11th, and our grand opening is May 25th, although we have a soft opening for our members today and tomorrow, and then for the general public on Sunday to help us test it out. And it's all about the intersection of science, technology, Hollywood, and science fiction. So it is about how our pop culture inspires technology and how technology inspires pop culture. It is so much fun. It's very hands-on. It's very engaging. And best of all, it's free with admission.
So what was the inspiration behind bringing Popnology to the Michigan Science Center?
Well, we really wanted to have, we've had such a rough couple of years between the pandemic and being closed last summer. And so we really just wanted to have something fun and to celebrate being reopened and having all systems go and to welcome the public back to our museum and to downtown Detroit. And so we had the last minute opportunity to take this exhibit in. It was really a huge effort of the team to get it in from 3 weeks to signing contract to arriving, which is not normal. But it's been amazing. It's been an amazing experience for us all to have it here. And we really just wanted something to encourage families to come on down and get excited about science. Our mission is to put people at the center of science, and this exhibit totally does that.
So, Lucy, you mentioned multiple times bringing in Popnology. So it is an outside exhibit that travels across the country, and it's being brought into the Michigan Science Center. So who makes Popnology, and how did the Michigan Science Center end up getting in contact with these individuals?
Oh, that's a great question. So it's a company called Stage 9 that has developed this exhibit, and another company called EDG travels it throughout the country. So it has been at other museums, throughout the continent since its inception. And so folks might have seen it in other cities. They might have seen it in Michigan a few years ago. It was in a different part of the state. But it's pretty typical for our museum business to bring exhibits like this in. And we have wonderful exhibit partners that we work with who are always developing really exciting things for us to bring to our audiences, to get folks excited about what it is that we do as a science museum and a hands-on science center. And so this is a company that we've worked with in the past. They're wonderful to work with. We know they develop high quality exhibits. And so even though it was a short timeline, it was a no-brainer for us to take it.
We're joined by Lucy Hale, the Chief Business Officer at the Michigan Science Center, joining us on the Michigan Megacast. More information can be found on their website, mi-sci.org. That's mi-sci.org for more information on the Michigan Science Center and events such as Popnology, which will also be great for photo opportunities for families, especially for those kids that are big fans of some of these different pop culture icons in movies and in TV shows and science fiction, and would like to get a picture with some of their favorite characters. Can you tell us about some of the opportunities that will be there for great photos and making great memories?
Yeah, well, I hope you can see the DeLorean over my shoulder. And so we do have a replica of the Time Machine DeLorean from Back to the Future, and that's a great photo op. Alien is in the exhibit. We've got some cool characters, some cool droids from Star Wars that are in the exhibit, Terminator, and a really neat Mars experience that has some cool backdrops. And then there's also a photo booth, so folks can take pictures in the photo booth it's got a gray screen behind it, not a green screen, but a gray screen, and you can send those to yourself. You can put them on your social media. It is a very fun exhibit, lots of photo opportunities. And you mentioned these sort of icons of movies. We're really hoping the movies that are featured in the exhibit are, really of our parents, the folks who are parents right now. And so we're hoping that it sparks some conversations and memories sort of with multi-generations, and really hope that we get kids inspired about technology and careers in technology, which was a really big reason why our sponsor, Signal Restoration, came in, because they're scientists and engineers, and they want the next generation to be inspired to work in those careers too. So it's fun and it's hands-on, but it is also some great technology that folks will get experience with.
We're joined by Lucy Hale, the Chief Business Officer at the Michigan Science Center, joining us on the Michigan Megacast. Lucy, how long will Popnology be at the Michigan Science Center, and how can people get access to this exhibit?
Yeah, it'll be here through August 11th. And folks can go onto our website, www.mi-sci.org, and reserve tickets. Like I said, it is free with general admission, so you just need to get your general admission tickets. You can walk up to, we don't require advanced reservations, but we do recommend them. We expect it will be very busy this summer, and so we want to make sure folks are able to come in. We do have capacity limits on our building still, not so much because of the pandemic, but just because of our fire code. And so we want folks to make sure that they are getting their tickets in advance if they're able to.
We're joined by Lucy Hale, the Chief Business Officer of the Michigan Science Center, joining us on the Michigan MegaCast. Again, more information on Popnology and other events and exhibits at the Michigan Science Center can be found on their website, mi-sci.org. That's mi-sci.org for more information on the Michigan Science Center. And so, Popnology, not the only great event and exhibit happening at the Michigan Science Center coming up. You also have a big robot exhibit that's planned. Can you talk to us about what robot fans or robotics fans can expect at the Michigan Science Center very soon?
Oh, sure. So the robot components are actually part of Popnology. So there are quite a few robots featured in the exhibit, and experiences where people can learn how robots work, and also about artificial intelligence. And so there's 5 different stations where people will get to activate robots and do a task with them, and complete a game with them. And so that is very, very fun. We have a lot going on this summer. The other really exciting news is that our IMAX theater is reopening, and so that's the other really big thing we have on our minds and in our hearts. We're very excited about that.
We're joined by Lucy Hale, the Chief Business Officer at the Michigan Science Center, joining us on the Michigan MegaCast. There's also a really exciting group of games that are also available at the Michigan Science Center. Can you tell us about some of the gaming experiences for people of all different ages at the Michigan Science Center at this time?
Yeah, so our whole museum is really hands-on, and so there are lots of great experiences throughout the halls where people can really activate learning through play. Whether it's building paper airplanes or engaging with our Earth, Wind, and Weather exhibits. And then in Popnology itself, there are some video games. So we do have an Oculus Rift station, so people can participate in that component of gaming and that type of gaming technology using virtual reality. And then we also have a fun little Easter egg. I'm not going to tell you where it is in the exhibit, but if anybody's a Donkey Kong fan, we've sort of tucked some arcade games around one of the corners, and you can experience some historic arcade games in Popnology. And then there's 2 different Mars mission games that people can complete. One is a Mars launch, and one is an actual mission, using technology to complete a mission in a simulated Mars environment. And so we hope folks enjoy those games and really and learn a little bit about the real science and technology behind Mars exploration through them.
Another great exhibit you can go to at the Michigan Science Center and learn a lot about a technology we see so often in our society are one of these things, one of these cell phones. We have a history of cell phones. It's called Cell Phones Deconstructed, looking back into the year 1983 and investigating all the items that eventually led to smartphones over the years. Going all the way back to 1983, you're holding about 14 of these in your hand at one time. That's both in width and in depth. So tell us about that Cell Phones Deconstructed exhibit.
That's actually my favorite exhibit in the whole Popnology, which is funny because it's so hands-on, and there's so much you can do with gaming and robots like we were talking about. And this exhibit is very much a diorama, which is a little bit old school for a museum or for a science center, but I love it because first of all, I did not know that smartphone technology was developed in 1983. I thought it was a much more modern technology. And it's an image, a diorama of the last day before smartphone technology was developed. And it's a snapshot of someone's house. And everything in the exhibit, with the exception of a few decor items, are things that we now use our phones for. So music, calendars, calculators, how we pay for things. And so it's a really interesting exhibit. It sparks lots of conversations. We had a family up there yesterday. One of the parents was just howling with laughter, thinking about everything that they used to use that they now just use their phones for, talking to their kids about it, explaining what explaining what some of these things were to their kids, a rotary phone, for example. So it's really it's a really neat exhibit, and we hope it sparks lots of conversations and thought.
We're joined by Lucy Hale, the Chief Business Officer of the Michigan Science Center, joining us on the Michigan MegaCast. More information on all these exhibits ongoing, including Popnology, the big robot exhibit, and the cell phones deconstructed exhibit, and more at mi-sci.org. That's mi-sci.org for more information, or search the Michigan Science Center and look up more information on everything going on over there. And so there's a lot of other little mini exhibits and other activities also going on at the Michigan Science Center, and plenty of upcoming events for throughout the summer months to keep families engaged and kids learning while they're on their summer vacation from school. Can you give us a preview of some of these other upcoming events over at the Michigan Science Center coming up this summer?
Yeah, absolutely. So our IMAX reopens, our large dome theater, the IMAX reopens on June 15th for the general public. It opens June 11th and 12th for our members. And we have a big press event on June 9th for that. And we're very grateful to Magna Seating, who helped us redo our seats for that exhibit. So it is, or not exhibit, that theater. So it is an absolutely beautiful renovation that we've done. The seats, brand new carpet, and new painting and everything. It's really, the IMAX is just looking phenomenal. And we're going to open that with two shows. One is a traditional IMAX show called Asteroid Hunters, which is about folks who look out for asteroids that may have a heavy impact on the Earth, and then a little bit about asteroid mining. And then we have a film called or a laser show called Movie Madness. And so we are hearkening back to some of the films that are featured in Popnology and other very iconic films, and bringing that music into our IMAX through our laser show and laser experience. And it's a very family-friendly laser show, and so we'll be showing that during the day, so folks can come and enjoy that. And then we also are doing some events. Some of them are engaging with our partners. So Concert of Colors is happening again this summer in downtown Detroit and Midtown, and so we'll be part of that. We're very excited to partner with them again this year. And then we have some fun adult events that we're doing in the evenings. And so we haven't announced the date yet, but keep an eye out for a very fun 80s themed After Dark for 21 and up audiences that will be tied to some of the themes in Popnology, but really just celebrating the 80s in general, and all of our exhibits at the museum. And that date will be announced soon. And then again, we are a great place for families to come in the summer if they're looking for things to do to get their kids inspired about science. The ability to spend time together as a family, to come to our museum, is really important too. We are going to be bringing some food service back on site in June as well, so folks will be able to spend more time here at the museum. They won't have to leave to find lunch, which we're very excited about. And then we also are a wonderful place to spend when it's very hot outside too. You can definitely have a great time in our air-conditioned space. So that's really important too. We know in the summer, especially with the humidity that we get here sometimes.
Lucy, before we let you go, anything else we haven't discussed today, or other things that are coming up at the Michigan Science Center that we should be aware of?
I don't think so. This was wonderful. Thanks for covering us and having us on today. We're really excited about this summer. It's going to be a great summer for all of us here in Detroit and at the Michigan Science Center.
Lucy, thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great day.